on the main islands where there is a population left alone. And as the sun was setting, Sabbath was coming on, that the Spirit of the Lord descended upon John. And John, even though he was alone, John was going to worship God. I imagine if he knew these songs, he would sing them. Holy Sabbath, day of rest, by our Master richly blessed, God created and divine, set aside for holy time. Don't forget the Sabbath, the Lord our God has blessed. Of all the day, the brightest, of all the days the best. I imagine he would have been singing songs like, just over the mountain, in the promised land, lies a holy city built by God's own hand. And as John was overtaken by the Spirit of the living God, John was brought into the future, into the judgment to come, to say, John, I am the first and the last. I am the beginning and the end. Your suffering now will not be forever. One day the trumpet will sound, and he that will come and not tarry. The church militant will be the church triumphant. What do you say? As John listened to the voice that spoke to him, he recognized that it was the voice that spoke to the storm on the Sea of Galilee. Be not afraid, Jesus says. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. As he continued, he said, you saw me in the grave, but let me tell you something, John. I have the keys of death and hell. And looking down our time, he says, the gates of hell shall not prevail against you. The message to John and to the church is a message of triumph over sin. A message of triumph over death and the grave. A message of victory over truth, over error. As God looked over the church in John's day, he watches over his church today. As angels attended John during this difficult exile on the Isle of Patmos, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fears him and delivers them. Do not be afraid. Jesus is with his church. What do you say? Persecution may come, but stay on the ship. Hunger may come, but stay on the ship. You may have differences of opinion, but stay on the ship. The ship may be rocking and the sails may be torn, but the captain of the ship is Jesus, and very soon he will land the ship safely at harbor. And when the ship is at harbor, Roy Dennis has made up my mind by the grace of God that I want to be on the ship. Moses stood on Pisgah's mountain. He looked with hope for the Messiah to come. He saw the bruising with hope for the Messiah to come. But John walked and talked with the Messiah. John had an experience with the Messiah. It was John who stood on the Isle of Patmos, and he saw the destruction of spiritual Babylon. Spiritual Babylon will not reign forever. John saw the establishment of the remnant church. John saw that the remnant church would be disappointed. He said the word will be sweet in your mouth and bitter in the belly. But John saw that the church would not stay down. He says, you shall prophesy again before many nations and kindreds and tongues and people. John saw the fall of Babylon. Babylon is fallen. Is fallen, that old dragon that causes the world to drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. John saw the call of the remnant church for God's people to come out of Babylon. Brothers and sisters, John did not only see all of these events that were to take place, but he saw the coming of Jesus. He saw Jesus coming as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Brothers and sisters, you cannot get weary now. When we are so near to the coming of Jesus, don't allow your faith to grow dim. He is still coming. So it doesn't matter what happens. God's church is alive and well. And God's church is moving on by grace in 2025. What do you say? Gloria Gator and Bill Gator wrote this poem that speaks about the strength of God's church. God has always had a people. God has always had a people. The foolish conqueror has made the mistake of thinking that